So this is the Note Air 4C. My initial impressions are that this is our annual update to the Note color line. If you already have a 3C, not expecting anything too terribly different here. But if you don't have a 3C, this is a better version of what they offered last year. So more value for existing or for new users. Probably not a compelling upgrade path for existing users unless maybe you're coming from an earlier device like maybe a Note Air 2 Plus. So this is what I got started with. This is actually the first e-ink tablet I ever purchased. And honestly, how this channel kind of went down this path all started with the Note Air 2 Plus. That's been a handful of years now. Justin said, not sure about the new UI. Yeah, I'm curious to see how different the new UI is. Is it actually different or is it the same? So I've got a Note Air 3C right here. We've got a Note Air 2 Plus. We've obviously got a Note 4C. And we got a Code 10.3 over there. We'll take a look at that too. I know that this needs a firmware update. So let's go ahead and open this up and then we'll get the firmware update going. And we'll answer some of your questions while we're doing that. So I did not grab a tool to do this, so this will be interesting. Trying to get into this without hurting myself or others. Sorry, I know the camera's out of focus at the moment. Question for y'all. I made some changes to the stream quality this time around. I'm curious if it looks any better. Again, if this is your first stream of mine, this question's probably not relevant to you, but I'm curious, does this look any better than it has in the past? Cisco says firmware updates always scare me. I've had bad experiences. What, Cisco, with Boox devices specifically, or just with other devices more generally? Here, I'm going to grab the box for the 3C. Okay. 3C on one side, 4C on the other. Let me see if I can tell the camera to focus. All right, from a box perspective, it's all the same. Yeah, so we do get a bump in RAM on the new device. Storage is the same. Yeah. I mean, aside from like a slight bump in specs for the chip, it's the same device, just a little bit faster. Winter asked, do you know when the Max will come? I do not know when the Max will come, but I am excited about that device. I think the Note Max is probably the most interesting device in the three devices they just announced. Like, obviously, an update to the Palma is cool, but a lot like the Note Air 4C, I think it's just an annual upgrade in chip. Whereas the Note Max feels like a new device, or maybe an upgrade to the Tab X that hasn't seen an upgrade in years. So yeah, I think the Note Max is really interesting. I don't have one yet, and they haven't announced a release date yet. But when I'm allowed to say something, or when I know something rather, I will let you know. Fowles says, no cellular on Palma 2 is such a missed opportunity. I agree that a lot of people would love a cellular device, but unfortunately not this year. Actually, along that line, I ordered a Light Phone 3, and I'm hoping that that can kind of fill that device void. But yeah, I was really hoping for the Palma to have cellular this year, but it's not happening. Oh God, I opened it upside down. I probably should have known that. That's my fault. Can we get it to focus? There's also the minimal phone. Yeah, so I saw the minimal phone via ads. That feels like a glorified Kickstarter campaign to me. That's my own personal opinion. I don't have any inside information there, so don't take that as a slight. But I would think of it as such. So if you need a device now, it's a risky play. But if you're willing to take a chance, probably get it at a lower value, or at a lower cost. But yeah, a little bit of risk with that. I wouldn't jump on that. All right, so in the box, USB-C on one side, A on the other. The standard pen, so the Boox pen, not the Pro, so no eraser, but that's okay. You don't really need an eraser on modern Boox devices. We'll talk about that in a second. And then a tool to get the SD card slot open. Yes, that was a 3.0 cable. All right, Lolita says, have the Remarkable Paper Pro, so I'm conflicted. Love the color, but it's a little clunky and slow for the price. Yeah, that's the Remarkable Paper Pro. It's a conflicted device. As someone who does sketches, it's the best Remarkable for me, but it's not without trade-offs. And that was honestly the hardest review I've ever written, because I like it, but I don't necessarily think it's the right device for everyone. Which is really hard to explain in a YouTube video. And just for comparison purposes, this is a 3C, and it has its light on. I need like a little label on screen. 3C, 4C. All right, I'm gonna pull this to the side. Gotta love that lovely blue light when you start it. I wish they started it warmer. Don't know why they don't. Now let's see if we can get this to focus on the text. Looks pretty sharp to me. Nicole asks, which of your e-ink devices do you actually use every day? I use the Remarkable Paper Pro. Let's see. What have I been writing on the Remarkable Paper Pro? I haven't turned it on today. Here, let's get this update going while we do that. Ah, yes. So I was working on playlist stuff. One of the things we're working on right now are recurring tasks. There's a lot of fun with recurring tasks, and the fact that Playlist is a local first device or local first app. So everything we do needs to work even when you don't have internet. And recurring tasks are particularly fun because you have to generate them. You're not sure if they've been generated on your device or on other devices. And so, yeah, so that's what I've been working on the Paper Pro. So yeah, that's my day to day. All right, let's get this firmware update going. Yes, I read it all. I'm not in Chicago. That's interesting. They changed it from China. Appreciate that. I'm curious if they did that for all devices or just those that are being shipped to the US. That's interesting. We'll just leave all this standard for now, and then I'll realize where I should have changed some settings. All right, let's get this blue light out of here. That's better. I guess let's make it match up to this. Here, let's move it to the right so there's a little bit less glare. Carl says the Paper Pro looks like cardboard. Yeah, it does. It has that lovely gray screen. Although, honestly, these do too if you turn the lights off. Here, let's compare. Honestly, the Paper Pro is brighter than the Kaleido screens, but when you have the front lights on, it changes a little bit. Joe Gert says, really hoping for front light uniformity on the 4C. Let's take a look at that. I hadn't noticed a big issue with it on the 3C, but I'm not a big stickler for front light uniformity. So, Joe, I'm curious your thoughts as we go through this. All right, so that's with the lights off. Actually, let's leave the lights off for the sake of this. That's probably a good comparison. All right, let's check for that firmware update that they were talking about. Also, I'm curious how the home screens have changed. I forgot where my back gesture is on this one. There we go. Okay, yeah, the notes, I mean, the icons did change a little bit. They've like got a larger gap. I don't usually keep these widgets. Not a significant change, but a change nonetheless. Let's firmware updates. Where are you? More? There it is. No internet connection. Yeah, I should probably do that. On. Be right back. Here, I wonder, can I put it back on playlist while it's there? Hey there. Let's see. Will it? There you go. Be right back. All right, we have Wi-Fi now. And it looks like we have a firmware update. All right, so we're gonna let that do its thing. While that's doing its thing, one, do you have any questions? And two, I have a Franken pen that I haven't put together yet, and I've been meaning to do a video on it, and I haven't gotten around to it. So I figured, why not do that now? So for those who haven't heard me talk about the Franken pen, I really like this Pilot Dr. Grip stylus, but obviously it doesn't work with the Paper Pro. So I haven't put this one together. My last one got washed. I washed it and is no good. And so I like to take the outer covering of this black Dr. Grip pen and put it on the stylus. So let's do it. Fossil, sorry if I say that wrong. Fossil asks, can I use ceramic nibs on the Boox devices? I would not recommend that. You can do whatever you want with your device, but it will likely scratch the surface of your Boox devices. With that said, the Boox devices do use a screen film. So if you did scratch it, you could replace it, but that's a huge pain. You could probably use titanium nibs and be okay. Again, don't come to me if you have issues, but I think titanium nibs are unlikely to scratch it, but ceramic nibs likely will. So this is, here, let me slide that firmware update out of the way. So this is the Wacom/Pilot Dr. Grip Digital. It's a great little stylus for on the go because it retracts. Here, let me put this on autofocus and then maybe you'll be able to see it. I have to find the right button. There we go. I think it's that one. There we go. So this is that stylus. I really like using it. I hate the look of it. This clear, again, if you like it, great. But unfortunately, I don't love the look of it. I do, however, love the look of this all black version. All right, and the firmware update has downloaded, telling it to update. Okay, so we gotta swap out the innards. It is comfy. It is very comfy. But yeah, it looks stupid. And that's unfortunate, because it doesn't have to look stupid. It can look like that, which I think looks pretty decent. So, take that off. We need that. Save that. I think that's most of it. Just need the innards. I think the rest of this stuff is completely compatible. Oh, I'm doubling up. Oh, that part is different. I have to take this tip, I believe. Something's not quite right. What did I do differently? How did that work? Because this was tight before. Oh, is this part different? Okay. I need this front half. So you use this front half with this grip. And this tip. There we go. Boom. And then now, if you want to, you have a writing pen on the other side. Ta-da. So now we have a Franken pen, which great for on the go. Can we get that to actually focus? Yes. So I can just throw it in my pocket, retract it. I don't have to worry about breaking the nib. It doesn't look terrible. All right. Alia says, thanks for creating these videos. You're quite welcome. Looking into the Remarkable Paper Pro and the Boox Note Air 4C, what do you recommend for a first-time user and which one has a better writing feel? That is an age-old question. Depends on your use case. If your primary use case is just writing and you don't want to do all the other things like Android apps, I personally like the Remarkable Paper Pro for that use case. With that said, the Note Air 4C has a lot more utility. You can do a lot more things with the Boox device. Whether you should do all those things with the Boox device is an open question. All right, other questions while we wait for this firmware update. Someone was asking about the difference in brightness between the 10.3. The short answer is the 10.3 is going to be significantly brighter. Let's turn it on. David asks, are covers that were intended for the 3C, do they work with the new model? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Well, hold on. I think I can answer that. Hold tight. I think this is a 3C cover. I think. Yes, 3C covers work. I think the 3C cover is probably the same. Here, hold on. We can test this. This is the 4C cover. And we can look at the differences between the 4C cover and the 3C cover. On the surface, I think they're the same. Battery is low on the 10.3. Hold on one sec. Let me see what's in my notes. So there you go. That's the 10.3. And let's check the cover. Three C cover, 4C cover. On the surface, I think they're the same. And yeah, I think either will work. All right, I missed some other questions. What is the CPU comparison between the new Air 4 and the Tab C Ultra? I don't know. I don't know the answer, unfortunately. Would the Frankenpen work with the Remarkable 2? Yes, the Frankenpen does work with the Remarkable 2. And I was using the Frankenpen with the Remarkable 2 until until my Frankenpen got washed, and then the Remarkable Paper Pro came out. Jeb says 8 cores pretty non-specific, and they all seem to have 8-core processors. Yeah, I don't know. You might want to wait on Voya doing some sort of performance test on that. I can comment on what it's like to feel, like what it's like when you actually use it, but you might want to wait on him doing something a bit more scientific. All right, U2B says, just bought a 4C, was told it had an improved Kaleido screen, but the brightness without the front light hasn't improved. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone says they're improving Kaleido. I think Kindle is saying that they improve Kaleido. At a certain point, Kaleido is Kaleido. Let's see. So let me move this to the side to try and give you an objective look. Okay, the firmware update did finish, by the way. So let's go to notes. Let's go to notes. Let's create a notebook. Oh, this is new. Okay, so we can say handwritten notes, text notes, local file. Let me switch this back to manual focus. All right, I think that's as sharp as it gets. Let's let that settle and then we'll play around with this. Mr. Scott asks, are the front lights on? No, they are not. So let's go ahead and create a handwritten note. We'll just go blank for a direct comparison. doesn't know that I'm a lefty. It's okay. Let's get these set to the same. Pen 4. Oh, did they change? These are now in a precise. It's no longer this abstract 4. It's now a specific millimeter. That's kind of nice. I hope it's accurate. Here, let's, what do I do with the Frankenpen? Here it is. That is like more pressure sensitivity. No, it's just me. It's the same. The biggest difference actually is I haven't used this 4C yet, so it doesn't have any like skin oils in it, so it's a lot grippier. Feels really nice. But ultimately, they're going to feel identical before too terribly long. Andrea says, can you test a video on YouTube on the 4C? I'd like to buy it for this purpose, for not straining my eyes. Well, that's a tricky one, Andrea. I think you may be better off waiting for the daylight computer. The refresh rate on that is going to be significantly better and hopefully still not have the eye strain. If I remember, I'll come back to that, but I don't think it's going to be a good experience. YouTube says, can you put a piece of paper next to it so you can get an idea? Let's see if I have a sheet of paper. Hold on, I do have... This was what I used for mocking up the Remarkable Paper Pro. It's not necessarily like the brightest sheet of paper, but that gives you some form of a comparison. So, yeah. With that said, like you're not going to use a Kaleido device without the front light. It's just not bright enough. Here, let me grab the Remarkable Paper Pro. So this is the Remarkable Paper Pro without a front light. And so it's still somewhat dull. It's a little bit brighter. But with all of these devices, what you end up doing is you end up putting just a small, faint amount of front light. I think I run the Paper Pro on 2. And then if you grab a monochrome device, like the Boox 10.3, this has no front light on right now. It's just monochrome e-ink, significantly brighter. And significantly better contrast. So you see how, sorry, it keeps swapping because of the accelerometer. You see how the text appears black versus this is like a dark blue. And Kaleido kind of suffers from the same thing. Like this black is significantly blacker than that black. Just there's better contrast on monochrome. If you don't need color, monochrome e-ink is still superior. All right, I have gotten sidetracked. Let's look at a couple more questions, then I'm going to try and get back into the specifics. Jot asks, can the Paper Pro do black color as well? That was black. What you just saw was black text on the Paper Pro. All right, let's pull the 3C out of here. All right, so the Note Air 4C, they added a bunch of new things along this side that we'll take a look at. Let's turn the light on Is it on this side? Why won't you open? There we go. We need a little bit of light on this device. We don't need a lot of light, but we need a little bit of light. Somewhere in there. So some new things. They added this scrolling screenshot, which I don't know that I would use every day, but theoretically it's kind of cool. They added this quick note, which I'm also kind of curious about. And they said they made some changes to the AI. So something that I learned with, I think, the Note Air 3C was that they now have scribble erase. So the problem was always you don't have an eraser on a lot of these pens that we really like, but you don't need it. So if I were to turn off all the UI, do you want to expand floating toolbar? I don't know. No, don't want that. So if I go in here and I write something, oh, that's very thick. Why is that thick all of a sudden? What did I change? Oh, that was odd. Anyway, it's a great example to show this. If I want to get rid of this, I can just scribble through it and it'll erase it, which is awesome. So you really don't need an eraser. So sorry, what I was saying was Note Air 4C. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. So I was writing that. So this is one that's kind of tricky. Like erasing this would probably be a little tough. No, works great. The pressure sensitivity kicks in way earlier on this device. Either that or I'm just not used to Boox devices. Let me switch to a regular ballpoint pen. That's too thick. The refresh rate on this is really nice. Coming from the Remarkable Paper Pro, all of this feels really snappy in the tooling department. Like the writing refresh feels identical, but all these menus open so much faster on this Boox device. Let's try a 7mm. Still a little thick, but overall feels pretty good. Erase, please. There we go. Let's try 5. Feels pretty good. Still a little thick though. I'm a little conflicted because this now feels like it has no pressure sensitivity. Whoa, hold on, I missed a lot of questions. Can you use a little color? Yeah, give me just a minute. I'll get there. Let's see. Can we get maybe 0.7 with pressure would be good? Let's try that. Pressure sensitivity just kicks in so fast. Again, this is all my own personal preference, but I want some fluidity. But it gets so thin. I just need to learn how to write correctly, apparently. Let me see if it feels the same way on the 3C, because I don't remember feeling that. I feel like they changed something in the writing dynamics, or either I've just forgotten what it feels like. Turn on, please. Thank you. So this is Pen Brush 4. And this is Pen Brush 0.7, which in the UI feel similar. Let's see if I try writing. Yeah, I don't feel like the pressure sensitivity kicks in as heavily here. Yeah, that feels more right to me, but anyway, all personal preference, but the heck? What just happened? So yeah, so they changed how that feels. I assume all the devices are going to get this change. But yeah. Again, I think this is probably just me getting used to it, but definitely feels different. Pen Brush 4. Am I doing something wrong, folks? Is there something I'm missing? I can't like change the settings in here, right? What does this little light bulb do? Let's try out the pencil. They have different texture patterns. Sorry, you'll see that in a second. So that's the pencil. If that's your thing, great. I don't know that I'll ever use that. But if you were sketching, I could see a use case for that. Yeah, I think I want to be able to tweak the pressure curve, unfortunately. Let me try the brush pen. Yeah, maybe if I turn that way down. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to use that one either. I still think this one's going to be the best one, but I need to dial in the settings on it. Let's get a new page. Okay, so let me try the Boox pen. Maybe it's the Franken pen. No, getting the same. Although maybe a little bit more consistent. Let's drop this down to 0.3. That feels pretty good. Let's try this. Yeah, I think that's probably what I would run with. Maybe like a slightly thicker than that, like 4.4. Maybe that's what pen 4 was, is a 0.4 millimeter. Then if I want to erase, I can get rid of that. Looks good. All right, I think the other thing is like smart shapes. So if I were to draw, that was a terrible square. I think you can make it auto shift it, right? No? I thought I could do that. Do I need to turn it on? AI. Pause for 1 second. And then it'll switch. Oh, it's turned off. That's why. Let's turn on lasso. Scribble to erase is on by default. Okay. It's pretty nifty. It's better than I can draw. Ooh, it's fun. Not necessarily what I wanted, but can I scribble erase that? Sweet. I cannot draw a square this morning. And circle. See that being handy. Can I do straight lines? Yeah, it's pretty sweet. That works well. Works really well. I like that. I can erase it. Lovely. Ooh, fill. Hold on. Let's try the fill brush. This is a feature that I wish the Remarkable had. So what I would do is I'd grab like, let's grab a yellow color. Someone was asking about color. Oh, ooh, but it changed the fill. I mean, it changed the stroke. Hold tight. It shouldn't do that. So I love that it filled. I don't like that it cuts part of the shape. So you see how the stroke gets thinner? That one, it didn't do it as much on that one. See, it did it a lot on that. You see how the stroke no longer matches? But either way, that's still a cool feature. Like this ability to go, I'm drawing a UI. So like I would go in. And let's say we had like a header. I gotta make sure I fill it all the way in. But if I did that, I can go grab this fill brush and say that this is gonna be that color. Are you telling me this isn't enclosed? It's enclosed. Let's try that again. Now it's happy. Then I could go in and make this like a light gray. It's really nice to be able to fill that in. Now, you're not going to be able to scribble erase that, I wouldn't assume. Yeah, which isn't surprising. You just need to undo in that case. All right, new eraser settings. You can now enable, disable, show tracing erase. It's off by default. Okay. Can I turn it on? I do have to say, I think they've improved the writing app a good bit as far as UI goes. I also like that it's a stroke eraser. I wish the Remarkable one was a stroke eraser. Okay, so these are my pages. It's a weird icon for pages. So Linus, I agree about the highlighter for the Remarkable, but what ends up happening that I don't love is it takes a while. So like if I were to try to fill in like a large area, I need to go and like, that's fine, but it takes a while. So like if all I'm doing is just filling, it would sometimes be nice to just do it with a fill brush. Like I would just tap over to that brush and then write. Now the question is, Or is that going to look like the same color when it's done? Yeah, this is the annoyance with how the highlighter works on Boox devices, is they stack. I love that the new Remarkable one gives you the choice of whether you use the highlighter or the shader brush. So the highlighter doesn't stack and the shader brush does. And I don't think, maybe I could use the pen brush. Let's see. Does the pen brush stack? It doesn't. Okay, so I could use the pen brush for this, but it's going to be a deeper color. Diana says, I noticed that if I refresh the page, it clears the edges. Oh, okay. They changed the e-ink modes. Vivid color. What does high contrast do? Oh, you can't do it while you're in the Notes app. That makes sense. You can change the scrolling mode. I like this. This is a lot more intuitive. Speaking of scrolling, can't scroll. Not by default. Yeah, they haven't changed the way the page sizes work. All right, what else is in here? Tap Page Plus to quickly add a new page. You can also choose a template for the new page or import a page from local files. Cool. This is nice. This is something I wish the Remarkable had. Sometimes I just want to take a picture of something with my phone and then mark it up on the Remarkable. There's just too many steps involved. I mean, not that this device has a camera, but if you had a web page or something, you could screenshot it and then mark up on it, which would be nice. Lasso. Yeah, they have Smart Lasso. They have Free Lasso. So just for awareness, what the Smart Lasso is referring to is if you were to draw a circle, it's going to ask you, are you trying to select this thing? Which is really nice. And so I can go ahead and I could just like cut it to get rid of it and then get out, which is cool. I don't have to switch brushes. You can effectively run it in this mode and get everything you need. So I could say, I want to select this circle and I want to move it over here. And I want to get rid of it. Like, that's pretty sweet. To be able to do that without ever having to switch tools is a big achievement. I think we should give them credit for that. Linus says, did I notice that the black inks also refresh when page refreshes? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like, this is the benefit of BSR, is this refresh is really fast and honestly doesn't flash. That's a big upgrade from the Remarkable Paper Pro. So here, let's grab an example. So if I grab my Paper Pro and I switch pages, especially things that have color. Let me see if I can find you something with color. So like that. Here, let's do a similar color example on the Boox device. So if I go in here and I grab a bunch of different colors, let's do a similar size. With a yellow. And then a blue. Where did it go? It erased it. Don't erase it. This is the danger of AI erase. That's my fault. It does look like I'm trying to erase it. And when I switch pages, I lost my undo history. Damn it. No, don't erase. And then let's put some black in there just to... All right. Let's get the Paper Pro stylus out of the way. Sorry, I have to remember to scroll the right directions. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this. So like the Remarkable is faster, but the Boox is a lot more stable. But honestly, both are fast enough. They're just different, if we're being honest. And then colors. I mean, the Kaleido is not really going to be able to compare to the gallery when it comes to color. I mean, look at the highlighter. This gets like this muddy color versus this actually has good color to it. Neither are going to really compare to an iPad if you want color accuracy. But if you don't want a front light, they're an option. All right, Joe's asking about straight line tests. Ooh, we're getting into some deep technical stuff today. Okay, let's give it a go. Where is the cover? And I have a straight line test on the Paper Pro as well, if we want a comparison. Here is the folio. Oh, it's green on the inside. That's cool. That's different. So someone earlier was asking, are the 3C cases compatible? Yes, but they're not the same. They changed the liner. And they do auto turn on, which is cool. So let's get the Paper Pro out of here just in case that affects our test. Tweaked this by putting a little slot for that, which is brilliant. Brilliant. I mean, the folio is a little thicker because of it, but that's awesome. Don't do this. Like, this is just annoying. I would have to take this out of the folio to use it. But let's do this test because someone asked for it. Oh, that line is too thick to be useful. Get out of here, tools. I shifted on that one, but that was a nick in my ruler, just to be clear. Looks pretty decent to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not a stickler when it comes to this stuff. These are all nicks in my ruler, just to be fair. And here, we could do the same thing with the Paper Pro. I do have to use a different stylus because the Paper Pro doesn't work with Frankenpen. I do have to say I'm enjoying having the Frankenpen back. That's a nick. Nick. Need to get a better ruler. Oh, that's fun. Switch to the highlighter somehow. Definitely gonna have to get a better ruler. But anyway, that's a similar thing. People were talking about the straight line tests on the Remarkable Paper Pro, and I didn't really have an issue with it. Honestly, I think both of these devices are handling just fine in straight line tests. Looks pretty good to me. Oh, wrong stylus. All right, let's see. What haven't we hit yet? Comics. Yeah. Gotta figure out the best way to get them onto here. I guess I could just plug it in. Hold on, let me grab a USB-C. Do I have a C-to-C cable around here somewhere? Here we go. This should theoretically work. So I'm happy to pull up some books. I guess just note, it's going to be more or less the same as what we had on the 3C. Not expecting any significant differences here. All right, copying over some books. Didier says, "You are left-handed. What is your feedback about that?" Being left-handed sucks, Didier. But no, I actually really enjoy being left-handed. But I mean, that's the biggest benefit of e-ink is I don't smear my writing anymore. Whereas when I would use a traditional notebook, I'm always smearing the text that I just wrote. So I couldn't use those like lovely gel pens that everyone was really into when I was in school. But no, I don't think there's really any issue. You just need to set the tools to the other side, which you can do on this. I haven't swapped it over yet, but it works just fine. So let's get a comparison. Do you guys want to compare it to the 3C or to the Remarkable Paper Pro? All right, everyone wants 3C comparison. Let's do it. Someone says both. Looks like 3C is winning right now, so we'll go 3C. And if you guys are really curious, we can come back and do the other. But let's stick with 3C for now. Go back to the beginning. All right, how are we going to do this that's fair? So e-ink settings. Let's go check e-ink settings. All right, they're both on vivid. I don't have a light on. Let's put these on the same light settings. About halfway. Oh, there's a scientific way to do this. Here, hold on. We're going to do the exact same settings. This takes too long. I think those match. All right. Scientific's too hard. Would you all agree that those appear to be the same settings? Here, we're going to push this off to the side so that we can get less glare. All right. I think there may be something to their claim that they changed it, because the skin tones look different to me. So they've done something. What they've done, I don't know. But it definitely has a warmer tone than on the 3C. Let me just double check the e-ink settings. But I think these are running identical settings. And I would agree that this looks better. Vivid. Regal. Yeah, they're the same settings. They changed something. It looks better. Kudos to them. Because the warm tones definitely look better. I don't know what is quote-unquote accurate, but this is aesthetically more pleasing. Significantly better. We found a difference. So Eric, I don't think it's the lighting. I'm looking at it in person, and it actually looks better. It does get a little muddier here, but in general, I think it's better. We'll pick something that has a different color profile here in a second. But yeah, warm tones are better on the 4C. Significantly so. Yeah, this page really shows it. Like, look at the reds. Now, I wonder, is this a Boox change or is this an e-ink change? All right, let's pick a different one. Let's, I don't know, this one. Yeah. More of the same. Let me see if I can... I'm going to shade the light. Well, hold on. Would it be terrible if I just turned the light off? Let's try something. Bear with me, folks. This may be a terrible idea, but... All right, I think this will actually make a better comparison. We're just going to leave the light off for a moment. This comic is just dark, though. This is not a great comparison. Let me see if I can find something that's got some more lightness. There we go. Yeah, I still believe that the 4C looks significantly better. Although, okay, hold on. I'm taking back a little bit of what I'm saying. the front light is different. I'm getting different settings. Like I'm getting different output from the same settings. Here, let me turn the light off. This is going to look really awful for a moment. I think the base white is the same. Yeah, I agree with you, Mashup. I think it's the front light that's making the difference. Let's try and adjust these to have the same output. So let's go halfway. This is tricky. Getting the same setting is going to be a little bit tricky. This is not an exact science. Okay. Would y'all agree that those front lights are similar? I'm not sure that it's the front light, Carl. Because I would say I've tried to calibrate the front lights here and just getting better warmth. Just has an overall, like a less green tone. It's like shifted more magenta and less green, which aesthetically is a lot better. I mean, because these devices have always been a bit deficient in the red tones, and I feel like they've done something to try and account for that. All right. Does that give you guys a good feel? Should we shift to the Paper Pro comparison? Here, let's check one more. Definitely something different. Better warm tones. That blue looks better too, actually. Just more saturation in general. That's a good point. What does it look like with the front light completely off? These comics are so dark that I don't know that you're going to be able to tell much. I mean, that is still more saturated even without the light. Sorry, these comics are abysmal without any light. Let me see, do I have anything else? Sorry, I feel really dumb. How do I get out of here? Library. I thought there were other books I put on here. Guess not. Here, let's try this one. This one seems like it's got a little bit more brightness to it. Yeah, see, okay, there you go. Here's your example. So look at the skin tone here. Both of these have the front light off. Oh, hold on. Mashup made a good point. The blacks are not as dark here either. Huh. But the skin tones feel different with the front light off. Yeah, see, like you're getting significantly more red tones. That blue tone comes through better. Yeah, I think they've improved this in some way. Or at least recalibrated it. Let's pull out the Paper Pro and see how that's different. All right, I'm going to take this out of the folio just to give us some more room to work with. And make sure this doesn't have the front light on. Not that the front light does much on the Paper Pro, but all right, I'm not going to say anything. What do you guys think about the difference between those two? Any other votes? Yeah, all right. Yeah, everyone's saying that the right one is better. I mean, this isn't really a Boox versus Remarkable thing. This is a Kaleido versus Gallery 3 thing. But yeah, it's not close. Now, the difference is the flashing. So screen refresh is instant on the left, and you get kind of a flashy change on the right. But if you're willing to deal with that, it's much prettier. And I would argue is more accurate. Like, not that I really want to point at the butt, but the butt looks different. Come on. Yeah, the BSR is awesome in how fast it can refresh. Like, BSR is awesome. With that said, though, it's not just BSR. Well, I don't know the answer to that. I would assume that BSR on Gallery 3 would still be slow, but I don't know that for certain. That is the end. Okay, we should probably wrap up here soon. What else did we miss? What other questions would you guys like us to touch on? Let's turn some lights back on. How is the battery? I think we're at 54%. We'll have to rewind the stream and see the difference. Ah, yes. Andrea asked me for a YouTube test. Patrick's asking about the table of contents. Patrick, I don't know how to use the table of contents. Can you educate me? Calder, the front light's not going to get you the same level of vibrance as the Remarkable Paper Pro. You can try, but it's not going to be the same. Erase. There we go. I don't think the battery capacity changed between the 3C and the 4C. All right. Someone asked for a YouTube test. Can I do it in the browser? I probably should grab the YouTube app. All right, bear with me for a second. Let's get rid of that. All right, let me install the YouTube app. Bear with me for a second. So while I'm pulling that up, what you're seeing on screen is a planner app that I've been building called Playlist. And the thing I've observed with every other planning app is they require you to see everything that you've got on your plate all at once. And I wanted to take a stab at a planner that helps you choose the right things to work on and then focus on getting those things done one thing at a time. So kind of like creating a playlist for a party, create a playlist for your day or your week, and then play through it. So if you're interested at all in that, it's in beta right now. And so if you go to playlist.day, you can join the waitlist. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. And I'm almost done installing YouTube. All right, we have YouTube now. Let's see, whose video should we watch? So if you haven't already, go give my butt. Oh no, Munit went away. I was gonna give Munit's video a watch. Hold on, we're gonna go find Munit because Munit is awesome. I don't know if sound is on. Here, let me turn off the sound. I don't think Munit's gonna care that I'm playing his video, but just in case. Let me change some of the e-ink settings, but that looks pretty decent. What does ultra fast look like? That is way more usable than I would have thought. Not great for details, but... Oh, hold on. This will be weirdly meta. Can we watch the stream on the stream? There's not going to be any movement, though. Oh, this is great. We finally get to see chat. This is bizarre. Hold on. This is kind of fun. So this is what I look like while on stream in a stream. I don't know. That doesn't work. Yeah, there you go. That's kind of what to expect. Anyway, YouTube is way more watchable than I would have expected. But hopefully, Andrea, that gets you what you were looking for. Okay, we should probably try and sum up the Note Air 4C. I think if you already have an existing Boox device, this is going to feel familiar to you. Here, let me pull my face up. Okay, so if you already have an existing Boox device, the Note Air 4C is going to feel really familiar to you. If you already have a 3C, I don't know that this is a device that you're going to want to upgrade to because this is effectively an annual refresh, if you will. So think of it like, remember when the iPhone used to do like an iPhone 10 and then a 10S? This is the Note Air 3CS. It's an annual bump in specs, so you're getting better value than if you were to buy a 3C today, but not this huge generational leap. Just a better version for those who are getting in now. With that said, it does feel like they've made some improvements to the Kaleido screen, specifically in the orange tones. And Boox has done a really good job. Boox has done a really good job with the software this year around. And I feel like this is the best the Boox writing software has felt. I did find the pressure sensitivity to be a little bizarre for me personally, but that's going to be a real personal preference type thing. But yeah, that's the Note Air 4C. I really appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me this morning. I'm amazed there was like 150 of you here at one point, and I've done mostly nightly streams, and it seems like the morning streams are doing a little bit better. If you want to support my work, like I said, I've been working on playlists to help you gain more focus and get the things done that really matter. So go join the waitlist there. It's playlist.day. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. And we also have channel memberships if you want to support the channel. I'll have a link down in the description below. Would appreciate your support. And until next time, cheers.